All right, let's dive into one of the most complicated figures of our time. This is a guy who seems to be trying to save humanity while also being one of its biggest trolls. You know the name, of course. But to really understand Elon Musk, you gotta look at all the different and often clashing people he is all at once.
I mean, first you've got the industrialist, right? The guy who basically looked at Detroit and said, I can do better, and forced the entire car industry to pivot to electric.
Then there's the space pioneer, whose entire mission, his whole goal, is to get humans on another planet.
And if that wasn't enough, you've got the brain guy, who's literally trying to connect our minds directly to computers.
And then, of course, there's let's call him the provocateur, the media mogul waging a full-blown culture war from his own platform. So what gives? Who is the real Elon Musk? A builder? A visionary? A troll? And how can all of that exist in one person?
To get our heads around this, we have to start with how the guy builds things. Because whether we're talking about batteries or rockets, it all comes back to this one single way of thinking.
Biographer Walter Isaacson really nails it when he talks about this idea of first principles thinking. Basically, it means you forget everything you've been told about how something is supposed to be done. You don't just try to make a rocket a little bit better. No, you ask, what are the absolute fundamental laws of physics here? What is a rocket made of? And when you do that, you find out you can buy the raw materials and build it yourself for something like 2% of the normal cost. It's kind of wild.
And that way of thinking leads to this incredible manufacturing philosophy. You see, the goal isn't to add cool new stuff, it's the opposite. It's to question every single thing, to simplify, and to just delete, delete, delete. Every part, every step in the process has to justify its existence. If it can't, it's gone.
Okay, so that's the how, but what about the why? Because for Musk, this was never just about building neat tech. No, this is about trying to direct the entire future of human consciousness itself.
You listen to his TED interviews, and it becomes super clear this is not a joke to him. The whole point of Starship, the whole grand plan, is to eventually ferry enough stuff and enough people to Mars to build a city. A self-sustaining city of 1 million people. A backup drive for humanity, just in case. And while he's looking up at the stars, he's also looking right here, at Earth. He sees the move to sustainable energy as the biggest problem we have to solve, period. For him, Tesla isn't just about selling cool cars. The mission is to speed up the creation of a totally sustainable way for us to make and use energy. The whole shebang.
And this is where you can really see the master plans start to come together. These companies, they look separate, but they're not. They all lock into this one huge vision. SpaceX is the escape plan if Earth goes sideways. Neuralink is about making sure we humans can keep up with super smart AI. And his new thing, XAI, is his shot at building an AI that's maximally curious and hopefully on our side.
But something shifted. In the last few years, his focus has taken this huge dramatic turn. He's gone from being just a builder of things to a fighter in the culture wars. And he's using his immense resources to try and shape the way we all talk to each other. This right here is his whole reason for buying Twitter, now X, for a staggering $44 billion. He says he saw it turning into a place that wasn't a neutral town square anymore. So he decided the only way to save it was to buy it, and he's turned it into his #1 weapon in a fight for what he calls free speech.
And the enemy he says he's fighting? He calls it the woke mind virus. He's defined it as an ideology that he believes is fundamentally destructive to civilization, one that he says replaces merit with identity and shuts down any real debate.
And his politics have gotten way more out in the open. He's argued that governments have lost touch with the people, that open border policies are really just a plan to import voters, and that the only fair society is one built completely on merit, period. Okay, so this is where it all gets really, really complicated. Because while Musk is chasing these incredible world-saving goals at lightning speed, the way he does it is having very real and often very negative effects on people right here on the ground.
First, let's just hear from Musk himself. This is his why, right? It's all about making sure humanity, or consciousness, has a long and inspiring future. A future you can get excited about.
Now hold that thought, because you have to contrast that amazing vision with what's actually happening. Down in Texas, people living miles away from Starship launches say their houses shake like there's an earthquake. In Memphis, his AI data center was running dozens of gas turbines without permits, and locals complained about gas smells waking them up at night. Critics have a name for it: go fast and break stuff, where getting permission and worrying about the community comes a distant second to moving at warp speed.
And this really gets to the heart of it, right? The central conflict of Elon Musk.
His biographer, Isaacson, talks about a demon node that Musk goes into. It's this incredibly intense, often ruthless drive. It's the thing that lets him do what everyone else says is impossible, but it's also the thing that leaves behind a trail of burned-out employees and pissed-off communities.
So, where does that leave us? How are we supposed to make sense of all these pieces? The builder, the visionary, the provocateur, the guy with the plan to save humanity, and a method that can be pretty darn destructive along the way.
It really boils down to this one huge question. Is Elon Musk a flawed but necessary hero, the only one with the guts and the vision to tackle our biggest problems? Or is he so focused on that far-off future that his break-stuff approach is creating a whole new set of problems we're all going to have to clean up later?
You know, maybe the best answer, the real key to understanding the Elon Musk of today, comes from the man himself. When someone asked him if his controversial posts were hurting X financially, this was his answer. For him, the freedom to say whatever he wants now trumps everything else, even billions of dollars. And maybe, at the end of the day, that tells you everything you need to know.